So this is my first attempt at a battle vid, pretty much, from the new, or new-ish, I guess, PokemonTcg site. And I'm using right now Hypercam to record the game and then kind of going back over it to do the audio that you hear. So, yeah, this is, like I said, this is my first attempt. So hopefully the audio won't be terribly off and we'll get a good game in. So I decided to show this game because I thought it would be a good example of how a pretty much straight lightning deck can still go through a straight fighting deck. So as you see, my opponent's having a hard time just drawing a basic. This is her second mulligan. And yeah, just a second mulligan. I start out pretty nice. I do have a basic and I have the collector in hand, which is what you always want for that turn one. So since she double mulliganed, I definitely take my 2 extra cards. And then we should go on to the coin flip. And there are some lags in here just from, opponents not really paying attention, having to click on things at the right time. So I start off with a collector. I see the fighting, or have seen all the fighting energy, and I immediately go for my Creonigal. That's my fighting tech. I also go for 1 Tynamo and a Thundurus. Tynamo I want to get up just so I can get an eel on the bench to start recovering my energy. Thundurus, I'm hoping to be able to take out as many basic Pokemon as I can with it. And Creonigal, it's got a great attack that hits for more if it has if it's being used against a fighting Pokemon. So I'm planning on, hopefully having to use that late game against some of the bigger ones. So since I can only attach 1 energy per turn, rather than just discard the energy to retreat back to Thundurus, I just go ahead and use Magnetic Switch so I can still have that lightning on the board, just in case I need to use a Lost Burn for quite a lot of energy. So she starts out Cleffa with the bench Virizion, puts a Machamp on the bench with the fighting energy and Ponce. Oh, I'm sorry, no. I believe she played a Charon and then Eat. So her Pokemon wakes up. I go ahead and attach to the Thundurus. And here I'm trying to decide if I want to shuffle my hand back in. I'm really hoping to draw a candy so I can go ahead and use that Magnezone. So right now I'm just going to load up on basics. I'm going to get the extra Tynamo out. Or maybe am I going to do that? Yeah. I bench the second one so I can hopefully get another eel out. And now I'm trying to decide what to use. So just in case I have a catcher up, I want to be sure I get that Magnezone up. And I go ahead and charge to attach an energy from my deck to my active. So she benches the second Machamp and plays a Charon to draw 3, so her hand size is looking pretty formidable. Attaches the second fighting energy to the different Machamp, so spreading out the resources a bit, which is the safer move. I do have that catcher in hand, so I'm pretty much looking to knock one out next turn. It's a good player, she's assuming that, and is preparing for it. And unfortunately doesn't have anything else to really play, so she eeks. Stays asleep. And I awesomely draw into that first eel, which is pretty nice. I'm going to go ahead and just stall for a little while. Another reason I didn't want to shuffle my hand in was because I didn't want to lose that water energy. I only run 2 in the deck, so I just wanted to make sure I could attach it in time, but I wanted to be sure that I got my other attachments out first. Those were a little more important. So I just go ahead and charge, so now my Thundurus is completely ready to attack. So she communicates. And here, there goes. Puts a Virizion in. And he's going to get out of a choke. goes ahead and evolves. Unfortunately, is still asleep. So she can't really refresh her hand right now. And wakes up on that turn, and there's the top deck into the candy. So I get my Magnezone up, and now I'm looking really good. I've got the energy in hand to go ahead and play. I'm going to use that catcher first, and I can't take out the Machoke with Thundurus, but I can take out that Machamp. As many as I can take out with a Thundurus is what I'm going to aim to do. So I'm going to attach that lightning energy to my Creonigle, just so in case he gets a Machamp set up the next turn, I can go ahead and attack. I'm going to magnetic draw for 3 here, just in case I find something else I want to use. And I did, I pulled a communication. I'm going to throw that Zekrom back in. And I'm going to go for the Magneton. I'm not going for the second eel here because I don't have any, and I haven't had any energy in the discard pile. So I really don't need a second eel, and I figure it's better to go ahead and get up the second Magnezone. So here I Sage and try and decide what to choose. I'm going in for the Shuffle, and that does put 1 energy in the discard pile so I can Dynamotor. I do remember to Dynamotor, so now my Magnezone is ready as well. And I'll Disaster Volt for the knockout. I get another Sage, so pretty happy by that. And sure enough, there is the Machamp. Now, for whatever reason, I believe they just attached to the Verzion. I'm assuming that's probably for a planned fighting tag, and then Eeks for a new hand. So I'm going to Sage again, mainly to get energy into the discard pile. Unfortunately, I only get 1, but that's alright. I'll go ahead and get that second eel up. I'll play the energy from my hand to the Thundurus, and I'll Dynamotor the one I just Saged away to get that Magnezone up. And I'll go ahead and knock out the Cleffa. Even if I did have a catcher, yeah, probably... yeah, I guess if I had a catcher I could have taken out the Machamp easily, but still... certainly not a bad idea just to take out that shuffle power right there, because she had to eke several times in a row. So now I'm just kind of hoping that the hand continues to be bad and I can still work with that. So I'm communicating in my Cleffa, and I'm going to get out that second Magnezone. And that's pretty much going to seal the game, because there's only so much that they can take out. With 2 eels on the bench, I'm easily going to be able to recover any energy. I check my discard pile and do see that I do have 1 in there, just the 1 in there from the last charge. I check my deck. I have 18 cards left. When playing so many Sages, I do like to just check it every now and then and make sure I'm not about to deck myself. So definitely awesome. I need 1 of those lightning energy to attach to my active, but I can put the other 1 in there. And that junk arm gives me access to another catcher, so I can take out another Machamp. Before I do that, I'll go ahead and Dynamotor and start building up that second Magnezone. And I'll second Dynamotor for the one I threw away with Sage. So now both my Magnezones are ready to go. And I don't need 3 N certainly, and I really don't need my Pont anymore, especially as my deck decides to dwindle. I'm definitely going to need cards that shuffle less into my deck. So I'm going to choose the Machamp with the DCE attached, and then Disaster Volt to knock it out. And I honestly don't know why she attached to the DCE to Machamp and just didn't start attacking with Machamp. Maybe hoping to draw a catcher to take out a Magnezone or the Creonigle. Oh, I forgot. Creonigle. I just realized this. Creonigle is really only good in the Donphan matchup. Machamp is weak to Psychic, so that could have been a huge misplay on my part for building that up when I didn't need to. So, my mistake. But either way, this is even now a better example of what this deck can do against what it's completely weak to. So, yeah. As you can see, I'm just in too good of a position, and she concedes the game. I just did way too much damage and was too fully set up. My eels, I can Dynamo or anything back on, so there was really no point.